there is absolutely no loophole in the Constitution. The Constitution was elegantly and competently drafted. And I'm happy to say that the lawyers who did it took a lot of care on that. You will notice that there is Section 95, but the Constitution doesn't end with Section 95. There is Section 328, which says that if there is any need to amend a term limit clause, that amendment must be the same as amending the Bill of Rights. Now, we don't use the word referendum there, but when it comes to amendment of the Bill of Rights, you amend using the referendum. So what we did was to say that in amending the term limit clause, it shall be the same in the same manner as amending the Bill of Rights, i.e. via the referendum. I have seen the opinion by Jonathan Moyo and a gentleman called Tawanda Nyambirani. What these gentlemen are just doing is to try to ingratiate themselves with ZANU-PF. They are trying to please President Mnangagwa. There is no loophole. Now, the term limit clause in Section 328 does not talk of a term. It talks of the length of time that a person holds office. A length of time that a person holds office. We did that very advisedly. Now, if a person is supposed to be in office for 5 years and suddenly they make it 7, they lengthened the period in which he is holding office. That is the simple interpretation of that constitution. And when we are interpreting a constitution, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to bore you with a bit of law here, we use the literal rule. We look at the grammatic meaning, ordinary grammatic meaning of the words. So the constitution says a term, an extension of term, an extension of term is the time within which a person is holding office. So it is not helped by changing the term from 5 years to 7 years. When you change the term from 5 years to 7 years, you are still lengthening the period in which a person is holding public office. So absolutely no loophole. We know that ZANU-PF and the people you talked about are afraid of the referendum because they are afraid of the people. So we are saying the people of Zimbabwe must claim what is in the constitution. And in section 2 of the constitution, we have a principle called the sovereignty of the people. That is the power of the people to decide. It is the power of the Zimbabweans to decide whether there should be an extension of term or not, because it is the people of Zimbabwe who put in the term limit in the first place through the outreach program during the constitution making process. So absolutely no loophole. Of course, they will attempt to use the pliable parliament. We were not really surprised that some of the opposition MPs were singing 2030 Dear Emerson. And ladies and gentlemen, you are from the Blauer press, you remember me warning you that the opposition MPs, the current opposition MPs, were going to vote for an extension of term. It has come to pass. They are working very hard to do that. So absolutely no loophole at all.
The first thing is that term limits are actually imposed to limit very good presidents. In fact, that is the reason for term limits. Term limits were invented to ensure that a person would not remain in office merely because they are doing well. That's if you go to the country that did that first and foremost, that's the Americans. 4 years. They don't look at how good a president is, which is why some of the best presidents in that country have had to leave. So term limits are for good presidents. You don't need a term limit for a poor president who will obviously be removed in an election.
So Emmerson Mnangagwa is aware of all this. Emmerson Mnangagwa is well calculated. He calculated all this and understood that in terms of the rules, the regulation, the procedures, time and everything else, it's no longer convenient for him to be able to push the term limits without any problems. But here is the new arrangement. Here is the new strategy. They have taken this matter to court through their associates of Chavangu. And this matter is likely going to be dismissed on technicalities or whatsoever. Once it is dismissed, it can't be appealed. What it means is they will now start to work on making sure that they extend the term limits of Emmerson Mnangagwa. So they will make sure they extend the life of the current parliament to 2030. That is by 2 more years. They will make sure that they amend the extension of Emmerson Mnangagwa again to 2030. And they will do it with impunity because the court is going to actually lay it out that there is no need for a referendum to happen. This is the strategy. So we have the best legal minds in Zimbabwe, people who understand what is happening. But what we need to understand is we also have the butcher of the constitution, people who have disregarded the constitution so many times. Chief Justice Luke Malaba is not supposed to be a Chief Justice as we speak. He is there. Why? It's because he is there unconstitutionally. You go to the Commander Zimbabwe National Army. He's not supposed to be there constitutionally. You go to the Commander Defense Forces. Constitutionally, he is out. But where are they? They are still serving. Why? It's because these people will do anything and everything to make sure that they push their own agenda and they protect each other. So this is important and critical to note that they have bent so many rules and so many laws. You conduct elections not according to the constitution and you tell yourself you have won. Who does that? What it means is Zimbabwe now need to be defended, not the constitution. So President Nelson Chamisa was right. It's now time to defend Zimbabwe, not the constitution. You will realize that to stop the 2030 agenda, people will have to go an extra mile. I'm telling you politics. We are analyzing politics as it is. For people to stop the 2030 agenda, they will need to go an extra mile. And if you are to go an extra mile and you are a constitutionalist, you won't be able to do that. So it's only a person who will say, we no longer have a constitution, who will be able to pursue a move which is going to stop the 2030 agenda. So this is simple. As Zimbabweans continue to watch whatever which is happening, they need to put in mind that they are dealing with people who do not care about the law. Period.